the music all together. Listen to happy sound. He was a storytelling man. He was a storytelling man. He came to bring good news to every man. He was a storytelling man. Some people call him Son of God. Some people call him the Son of God. He came to bring good news to every man. He was a storytelling man. Thousand years ago, in a place called Bethlehem, in a little came a man. He went traveling through the land, telling people stories that we're telling still today. That we're telling still today. He was a storytelling man. He was a storytelling man. He came to bring good news to every man. He was a storytelling man. Some people call him Son of God. Some people call him just of God. He came to bring good news to every man. He was a storytelling man. He became a traveling preacher. He became a well-known teacher. People came to hear him speak from all across the land. He lost himself important. Came to him with heavy punches. And he told the story that a child could understand. That a child could understand. He was a storytelling man. He was a storytelling man. He came to bring good news to every man. He was a storytelling man. Some people called him Son of God. Some people called him just of God. He came to bring good news to every man. He was a storytelling man. Storytelling man. Storytelling man. Storytelling man.
A storytelling man. That's how some people knew him when he lived on this earth long ago, before you, your grandparents, or even your great-grandparents were born. Some people knew him as a close friend, a teacher, or even a healer of the sick. Some people who didn't know him at all called him the troublemaker and considered him their enemy. Perhaps you know him as the one whose birthday we celebrate each Christmas. And maybe, just maybe, you too know him for the stories he told. And if you do, you know that he gladly told his stories for all kinds of people. The lawbreakers, the poor, and the discouraged came to hear him.
Hanging around those kind of people didn't make him the most popular person in town, especially with some of those local bigwigs. "What's the problem here?" they complained. "Don't you know that man over there is the town crook? This crowd is just nothing more than a bunch of down-and-outs. Why don't you find yourself some well-to-do, respectable church-going friends?" To help answer their question, he told them 3 stories. The first story was about a woman who lost a coin. "Forget it," her friend said. "You have 9 other coins right in your purse. What's the big deal over one little lost coin?" Coin, why do you worry and why do you fret? Coin, coin, only a coin, why can't you simply forget? You look so silly down on your knees. Why not forget it? Just be at ease. It's just a coin you dropped on the floor. Surely you'll find some more. Coin, coin, only a coin. Why do you worry and why do you fret? Coin, coin, only a coin. Why can't you simply forget? This situation's getting you down. Moping around. Let's try forget you are tight. Turn out alright. Coin, coin, only a coin. Why do you worry and why do you fret? Coin, coin, only a coin. Why can't you simply forget? Don't be upset or cry upset. That's when you're lost. You know I'm his boss. And you know where in your time. Shouldn't gonna be fine. Coin, coin, only a coin. Why do you worry and why do you fret? Coin, coin, only a coin. Why can't you simply forget? Coin, only a coin. Why do you worry and why do you fret? Coin, coin, only a coin. Why can't you simply forget?
Nothing anyone said could convince me to give up my search for the lost coin. I lit my whole house and ran my broom through every nook and corner. At long last, I found that one coin. I was so happy to have found it that I called all my friends and all my neighbors. I even called old Joe, who sold vegetables down the street. Get over here as soon as you can, for I've found what I lost. Let's have a party, let's make a racket. I'm as happy, I'm as joyful as ever I could be. Let's have a party, let's make a racket, for the lost has returned to me. Let's
Have a party, let's make a racket. I'm as happy, I'm as joyful as ever I could be. Let's have a party, let's make a racket, for the lost has returned to me.
Now, maybe a lost coin wouldn't mean that much to you, and it might have not meant much to the start of my next story, because he was a shepherd. He thought his sheep were just about the most important things in the world. His flock was a large one. 100 sheep depended on him for care. But this particular evening, the shepherd had just discovered something very upsetting. One of his sheep was missing. 96, 97, 98.
No matter how many times I counted them, there were still only 99 sheep grazing on the hillside. Do you think that a man with 99 sleek, fat sheep could talk himself out of searching for one stray? But not this shepherd. That was the farthest thing from my mind, so I left the 99 sheep munching their dinner to find the one that was lost. As I felt my way through the darkness, I thought to myself, I don't know what it is about me, but I just cannot forget about this lost sheep. The thought of him alone, afraid, or maybe even hurt, made me feel as if I myself were lost. Where are you, little sheep? I've searched in these rocks, in that valley over there. I've crossed that stream. I've climbed that brushy hillside. Many times I have stopped, hardly breathing, to listen for your bleeding voice, only to hear the north wind crying down the hill. Where are you? I'll find you, little sheep. Please let me find you.
After hours of searching, the shepherd did find his missing sheep. He was so glad to see that tired little lamb that he scooped him up on his shoulders and carried him all the way back to the rest of the flock. Then the shepherd called all the other shepherds together and proudly announced,
"You won't believe this, but I found the sheep that was lost. I can't remember the last time I've been this happy. Let's celebrate. We'll have a party."
Let's have a party, let's make a racket. I'm as happy, I'm as joyful as ever I could be. Let's have a party, let's make a racket, for the lost have returned to me. Let's have a party, let's make a racket. I'm as happy, I'm as joyful as ever I could be. Let's have a party, let's make a racket, for the lost has returned to me.
The loss of a sheep is a sad event, but sadder still is the loss of a son. Once, a very rich woman had 2 sons that she loved more than all of her money and land put together. The older son managed to say and do the right thing at the right time. You've known people like that, haven't you? The younger son, on the other hand, decided that living at home and sharing a good life with his family wasn't enough for him. Using what he thought is his most grown-up tone of voice, the boy said,
"Mom, I'm ready to split. This place just isn't for me. I want all the money that's coming to me, and I want it now. Then I'll get out of your hair, and I'm going to where the action is."
Broken-heartedly, I gave my son his share of the family wealth, and in a few days, he was gone, with new clothes and fancy shoes and a pocket full of money. He was sure he was on his way to becoming number 1.
I'm gonna live it up, shooby-doo-ah, I'm gonna live it up, shine-a-na-na, I'm gonna live it up, shooby-doo-ah, I'm gonna do my thing, I'm gonna live it up, look at me, I'm gonna live it up, I'm running free, I'm gonna live it up, look at me, I'm gonna do my thing. I lived in Mama's house, Mama made the rules. Now I'm on my own, I'll show her I'm no fool. When I lived in Mama's house, my brother gave me grief. Now I'm on my own, I'm gonna be a chief. I'm gonna live it up, shooby-doo-ah, I'm gonna live it up, shine-a-na-na, I'm gonna live it up, shooby-doo-ah, I'm gonna do my thing, gonna live it up, look at me, I'm gonna live it up, I'm running free, I'm gonna live it up, look at me, I'm gonna live a thing. When I lived in Mama's house, Mama made the plans. Now I'm on my own, I can be a man. When I lived in Mama's house, I was under Mama's thumb. Now I'm on my own, I'm the world, here I come. Gonna live it up, shooby-doo-ah, I'm gonna live it up, shine-a-na-na, I'm gonna live it up, shooby-doo-ah, I'm gonna do my thing, I'm gonna do my thing, I'm gonna have a fling, I'm the king.
Gone. Harper was gone. The mother could scarcely force herself to believe it. She stood day after lonely day at the gate of her beautiful home, staring down the road that her son had taken. Instead of remembering how rude and thoughtless her boy had been, she began to recall the good times when the family had been together. At times like these, she would think to herself,
Oh, what would I give to know how my son is doing this very second? Has he learned how to spend his money wisely? Is he sick? Is he hungry? in trouble.
And before she could stop herself, the thought of her boy alone and miserable, and sometimes as she stood there at the gate, she cried.
Lost, lost, my son is lost, wandering alone in the dark, dark night, far from his heart and far from his home. This, my son is lost. Lost, lost, my son is lost, wandering alone in the dark, dark night, far from his sight and far from his home. This, my son is lost. Why should I worry? Why should I fret? Why should I worry? Why can't I forget? Why should I worry? Why should I fret when I am safe and warm? Lost, lost, my son is lost, wandering alone in the dark, dark night, far from my sight and far from his home. This, my son is lost. This, my son is lost. This, my son is lost. One day, as I stood at the gate, a cloud of dust rose from the dry road that stretched up before me. This usually meant that a traveler would soon be nearing my gate. For a moment, the boiling dust was all I could see. But then, out of the dust, I saw a familiar form. My heart was beating so fast, I couldn't think. It couldn't be. Could it? No, it's not possible. I'm just imagining this whole thing. No, but that looks like it is. It's my boy. It's my son. My son is home.
It wasn't her imagination, for there, running up that dirt road as fast as his rugged sandals would allow, was me, her son. No new clothes, nor a smile on my face, just a thin and pale rag of a boy. As my mother rushed to me, I gasped, "Mom, I've come home. I know I'm not good enough to be called your son. I've wasted all the money you gave me, but if you'll take me as a hired hand,
But before he could say anything else, I called everyone within hearing distance. And with a big smile on my face, I said, "Look, my son is home. We're going to have the biggest and best party this old place has ever seen. We're going to have a feast." Kill the fatted calf, kill the old red rooster. I'm as happy, I'm as joyful as ever I could be. Kill the fatted calf, kill the old red rooster, for my son has returned to me. Kill the fatted calf, kill the old red rooster. I'm as happy, I'm as joyful as ever I could be. Kill the fatted calf, kill the old red rooster, for my son has returned to me.
once I was sad and gloomy. Once I was all depressed. Trouble was getting to me. Life was a drag at best. Now there's a new door open. I've never seen I've got a song to sing.
Kill the fatty calf.
you have heard the 3 stories. A lost coin, a lost sheep, and a lost son were each found again. Do you know why he told these stories to the bigwigs who questioned him about the kind of friends he had? Each of his friends, the lawbreakers, the poor, and the discouraged, were lost in their own way. Each of them needed someone to love them and care about them, someone to help them find a better way of living. He was the one who had come to help them. Each time one of these lost persons is found, God and all the angels in heaven celebrate. There is more joy in heaven for one lost soul who has found his way than for all 99 who have never gone astray. You loser, have you lost your way? Don't be where your life is found. You can see beyond today. He's waiting patiently. You were made to be his own. Don't be a loser. Don't try to go it alone. He never promised you an easy road. He never said the sun would shine in the sky above. He only promised you that through it all, he'll always hold you in his love. He never promised you a painless word. He knows that pain will help you grow. He only promised you to do it all. He won't let you go. Are you a loser? Have you lost your way? Don't know where your life is found. You can't see beyond today. He's waiting patiently. You were made to be his own. Don't be a loser. Don't try to go it alone.
Losers need not go it alone. He knows their problems. You too should be on the lookout for losers who need help. This story will show you what he meant. It was a beautiful day, and a traveler hadn't a care in the world. He was in his own home state near his own hometown, and he felt very safe and secure. Suddenly, a gang of bandits jumped him from behind. One of them held him while the others ripped him and beat him and ripped his clothes to shreds. They took all his money and all the other valuables and left him beside the road to die. He was a goner unless someone came to help him.
Before long, I, a preacher, came hurriedly down the same road. My mind was on the sermon I was about to give, but I could hardly help noticing the man bleeding by the roadside. Those robbers. Those robbers are up to their dirty tricks again. That poor man. If I didn't have an important meeting at the church in a few minutes, I would help him. We'll have a prayer meeting for him, and I'll ask the congregation to give up a special offering to buy him some new clothes. So, even though I felt sorry for the dying man, I hurried on.
In a few minutes, I, a teacher, appeared on the scene. Like the preacher, I was shocked to see the wounded man. It's just not safe to travel here alone anymore. More people need to be told of the dangers that await them here on their own highway. I'll present the problem to my class, we'll discuss it, and perhaps find an answer. What a shame I don't know more about first aid so I could help the poor man. Someone's bound to find him soon. So I went on my way, leaving the hurt man still waiting for help.
Someone is waiting to see how much you care. Someone is calling. Will you answer? Do you care? Not the millions who are teeming in some faraway and distant land, but someone is waiting for your hand.
I was the third person to come down the highway and was a stranger from out of town. As a matter of fact, I was a real outsider, a Samaritan. The people who lived in the area hated my kind and went out of their way to avoid me. So it would not have been too odd to have said, "There's no need in giving this man a chance to be ugly to me." Instead, I would just pretend like I just don't see him, but I didn't say that. Instead, I remembered how it felt to be disliked and ignored. So I rushed to help the dying man.
The Samaritan took the bleeding dying man and put him on his own mule and brought him to a roadside hotel. All night he cared for the injured man. The next morning, he said to the hotel keeper,
"Take care of my friend and make sure he gets well and strong. If this money that I have given you doesn't cover his expenses, then I will pay you when I return."
Sing to the Lord, clap your hands and shout out loud. Sing to the Lord, for He is good. Sing to the Lord, clap your hands and shout out loud. Sing to the Lord and praise His name. Sing to the Lord, clap your hands and shout out loud. Sing to the Lord, for He is good. Sing to the Lord, clap your hands and shout out loud. Sing to the Lord and praise His name.
Oh, magnify the Lord with me, the Lord with me. And let's exalt His name together. Let's see that the Lord is good to everyone who calls on His name, His name.
Sing to the Lord, clap your hands and shout out loud. Sing to the Lord, for He is good. Sing to the Lord, We will